ignorant of, but every girl of Charity's class knew about before she left school. It was what had happened to Allie Hawes's sister Julia, and had ended up in her going to Nettleton, and in people's never mentioning her name. It did not, of course, always end so sensationally, nor, perhaps, on the whole, so untragically. Charity had always suspected that the shunned Julia's fate might have its compensations. There were others, worse endings that the village knew of, mean, miserable, unconfessed. Other lives that went on drearily, without visible change, in the same cramped setting of hypocrisy. But these were not the reasons that held her back. Since the day before she had known exactly what she would feel if Harney should take her in his arms, the melting of palm into palm and mouth on mouth, and the long flame burning her from head to foot. But mixed with this feeling was another, the wondering pride in his liking for her, the startled softness that his sympathy had put into her heart. Sometimes when her youth flushed up in her, she had imagined yielding like other girls to furtive caresses in the twilight, but she could not so cheapen herself to Harney. She did not know why he was going, but since he was going, she felt she must do nothing to deface the image of her that he carried away. If he wanted her, he must seek her. He must not be surprised into taking her as girls like Julia Hawes were taken. No sound came from the sleeping village, and in the deep darkness of the garden she heard now and then a secret rustle of branches, as though some night bird brushed them. Once a footfall passed the gate, and she shrank back into her corner, but the steps died away and left a profounder quiet. Her eyes were still on Harney's tormented face. She felt she could not move till he moved, but she was beginning to grow numb from her constrained position, and at times her thoughts were so indistinct that she seemed to be held there only by a vague weight of weariness. A long time passed in this strange vigil. Harney still lay on the bed, motionless and with fixed eyes, as though following his vision to its bitter end. At last he stirred and changed his attitude slightly, and Charity's heart began to tremble, but he only flung out his arms and sank back into his former position. With a deep sigh he tossed the hair from his forehead, then his whole body relaxed, his head turned sideways on the pillow, and she saw that he had fallen asleep. The sweet expression came back to his lips, and the haggardness faded from his face, leaving it as fresh as a boy's. She rose and crept away. End of chapter 7.